Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. New setting today. I decided to change things slightly to be welcoming this fragrance that I want to introduce to you today. So if you need to smell any niche fragrance, I would highly recommend you to smell this one. It is, I'm not saying that you should own it, but it is the best introduction to niche fragrances, and I think you definitely need to try it to expand your palette. So this is like trying for the first time caviar. It doesn't mean that you're going to like it. It means that it is something that you must try in order to say, okay, so that tastes like that. Anyway, without further ado, let me introduce you to Portrait of a Lady. I have talked about this fragrance before in another video, but I wanted to make a specific video about it because it is so rich and it is so dear to me that I really wanted to talk about it. This is from the house of Frédéric Malle. He decided to put together the best perfumers around the world and let them loose and let them do whatever they wanted to do. There's no marketing restrictions, no perfume sort of ingredients restrictions. And I think in some occasions Frédéric Malle did ask the perfumers like to stick to somewhat an idea, but in general they have free will to do whatever it is that they want to do. And Dominique Ropion, which is one of my favorite perfumers, came up with this beautiful rose fragrance. Now I'm going to spray a little bit, although I must say do not overspray this fragrance because it is very pungent. I was on the car the other day with a friend and she called me the next day and said, girl, my car still smells like your fragrance. And I love that. It's so beautiful. The exit, it's a rose. It is a dusty, powdery, but yet pungent and somewhat masculine rose. It is masculine, and I'm going to put that under quotation marks because it's so robust, intense and durable that I cannot really imagine this being really feminine. However, it is ever so delicate, ever so well crafted and so delicate at the same time that I think this is the perfect unisex rose out there. There's a lot of other ingredients. I think there's cloves, there's a lot of spices, there is patchouli. I can really smell the patchouli. Sometimes it can be slightly, depends on who wears it, it can be slightly overly sweet, and maybe that is not something that everyone likes in a in a fragrance. I would say that this is a nighttime fragrance. However, I can really picture this being worn throughout winter. Of course, it's quite of a winter fragrance, but it can be worn in the morning, depends on how you pair it. The base is a little bit woody, not too much. I can smell benzoin as well. And I would say that it is warm and spicy, but it's also slightly rosy, not slightly rosy, sorry, slightly flowery. And that's what the rose does to it. If you don't like rosy fragrances, I definitely recommend you to smell this one because you would definitely be changing your mind on the fact that not all rose fragrances smell the same. This is the perfect example. Now, I have a little bit of a story with this fragrance. I know that it's been around since 2010. I think it was the launch. Of course, it was inspired by the novel by Henry James, Portrait of a Lady. There's a film with Nicole Kidman in it, a very old film. She even had ginger hair and curly hair, and it is a very good film, so go ahead and watch it. And I think Dominique Ropion wanted to sort of be inspired by the fact that she was a very strong character in that film, regardless of her being like a victim of her own destiny. Anyway, read a novel, watch the film, whatever, and then smell this fragrance, and that's what sort of it evokes me. It's feminine, yet a strong femininity, so to say. So my story that I was going to say, how I came across this one, because there's no marketing behind Frederic Malle. This was the first time I came across it. And it was when I was watching a documentary by my favourite documentarist, which is Stacey Dooley. For those who don't know, Stacey Dooley is a British journalist, and she is very down to earth. I think she's from Brixton, and she is very, very, very approachable and very, let's say, she comes from a middle lower class background, and that's why she's very approachable. Anyway, I'm going somewhere with this story, I promise. So there is, in this documentary, she sleeps over at someone's house, like a rich Georgian owner's house. They're old money, and as soon as she approaches the lady of the house, the lady says, "Oh, you smell glorious, what is it that you're wearing?" And Stacey goes, I'm just wearing Portrait of a Lady. And that moment really stuck with me, because I thought, I must smell this fragrance, not simply because Stacey Dooley is wearing it, but because of what she represents. So she, maybe I'm reading this too much, but her and this old money, likely to be stiff upper lip lady of a house, have similar tastes in something so specific and so rare, like perfumery. And in this case, I thought, I need to smell this fragrance. So I went ahead, and at that time I headed to Harvey Nichols, and I smelled it and I fell in love with it. It was a year after when I went to Harrods to purchase this fragrance, and ever since then I have loved it. By the way, just a small tip for those purchasing any niche fragrance or anything like that, and if you go to Harrods in particular, I would definitely recommend you not to go to the first floor where all the perfumes, or the floor downstairs, all the perfumes are there, but you're not going to be getting the best treatment, or sort of like the best attention that you could. I'm not saying that, of course, Harrods has great attention, but if you can, go to the top floor where all the niche fragrances that really are important, so to say, are there. I think they have Roja, I think they have Xerjoff, they have Frederic Malle, Penhaligon's, Chanel, Atelier, loads, Dior. So definitely go there if you have something in mind, if you have been thinking about getting it and you live in London. I mean, this is very specific to certain public, but do so. And also, for those that really want to approach, you know, the niche fragrance circle, so to say, don't be scared. People that work there are just people, so I'm sure that they will be more than happy to help you. And yeah, rich people are just people with money, so don't worry. Anyway, I'm deviating from the topic that we are talking here, which is Portrait of a Lady. More things that I would like to say is that these fragrances, the majority of the fragrances from Frederic Malle, are really, really long lasting. And in this case, it's so long lasting. I have washed clothes that still, after being washed, smelled of Portrait of a Lady. I have been complimented so much about how good I smell. It is a very different sort of scent that you get with this, and also I would say that people will remember you for this fragrance. Celebrities that wear it, I don't know where I found it, but I remember reading that Madonna was someone who wore Portrait of a Lady. A very famous YouTuber, Anna Bay, also used to wear it. Stacey Dooley wears it, and I wear it because I love it. So I'm not a celebrity, but hey, I love it. But yeah, anyway, that was my video of the day. I highly recommend you to go ahead and try it, and if you can spray it on yourself, do so, because it really is worth the try. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe. The channel is growing. I'm doing nothing, I'm not publishing anything, but yet we have 600 people that trust my work, so I'm happy. Anyway, I'll hope to see you on my next video. Bye bye.